Your Excellency Hedi Larbi, in your opinion, what are the structural and institutional reforms that need to be undertaken to reduce unemployment for educated youth in the MENA region?
Thank you for your question. When we look at the high level of unemployment of youth, especially educated, and we look at the root causes of these high unemployment, we found at least two major causes. One is the lack of high growth that generate actually enough jobs and particular quality jobs for youth. In other words, we don't have enough high inclusive growth in this region. And second is the quality of education and the match of the skills and the educated people, or the supply side, with the demand of the labor market on the other side. So if you want to address these two, there are other causes, but these are the key ones that we need to address. If you want to address a growth that is inclusive, that is a job creating type of, you need really to work on the business environment in MENA. MENA, we still are struggling whether we want to have a sort of market-oriented economy or a state-dominated economy or something in between. I think that except Morocco and somehow Turkey, we are still in the other countries in a sort of debate that doesn't actually, is not a public debate that we can in a way express our views on, but you have a number of actors. Either we have a sort of rent seeker private sector, or some who are more of opportunistic, but on the other side you have unions who are strong enough to oppose any type of liberal market economies, market-oriented reforms. So business environment, institutional reforms, both to improve the capacity of public sector to be able to formulate public policies that promote the private sector, promote the growth, investment, etc. But on the other side, also all structural reforms. If you look at our logistics, you look at our tax reforms, you look at the customs and so on, trade, all these reforms need to happen, and the quality of infrastructure, so that you deliver some sort of environment that promote and increase the return of private investment. So promoting a private investment that is vibrant, that is dynamic, that invests in creating jobs and creating high growth, that is fundamental. Now, if we talk about the structural reforms, you have the whole issue, and that links to the second cause, which is quality of education. We need to reform our education system from early childhood, primary, secondary, and of course the tertiary education. Regrettably, if you look at our education system, it has been frozen from the 70s, 80s, only marginal changes here and there, but the quality is deteriorating. There is a big mismatch between what the education system is producing in terms of skills and educated knowledge, and on the other side, what the labor market is changing. The labor market is changing, the labor market is actually evolving. We have this industrial 4.0 that is coming with a lot of automation. It is a lot of people who have the knowledge, but also who should have the skills, like learning to learn, problem solver, critical thinking, creativity, the possibility to adapt, good communication, and so on and so forth. But also you have the professional and the technical skills that you need. So the education system should be really reformed. And one of the major reforms that we need to do, at least the tertiary education, give a freedom, independence, autonomy to universities, and give them enough resources so that they can adapt, change, and adjust and synchronize their curriculum to meet the demands of the labor market. That is fundamental. Second is to bring together employers, the business community, to work with the education, bring them, reinforce and strengthen and to promote good relationships between the labor market and the education system, so that actually they work hand in hand, and one, they bring a professional to become teachers and to bring actually some professional loads to the students, but on the other side, for the education system to be able to adapt and to be responsive and to understand what are the labor market demands.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.